I was just her backup plan. My name's Brian. I'm 41, and I used to think the worst pain a man could feel was physical. Broken bones, surgeries, accidents. I've had my fair share. But none of that came close to what I felt when I realized my wife, the woman I built my world around, had been living a second life behind my back. Her name's Melissa. We've been married 11 years. 2 kids, comfortable home. From the outside, we probably looked like the perfect couple. I used to believe that, too. We made it through rough patches, job layoffs, postpartum depression, even losing a parent. That kind of stuff binds people together, right? At least, I thought it did. But betrayal doesn't always show up with lipstick on a collar or a secret text. Sometimes, it whispers through routine. Something small, something off. For me, it started with a missed call. From a number I didn't recognize. At midnight, that was the first crack. The marriage I thought we had. Melissa and I met through mutual friends. She had this contagious laugh and this way of leaning in when she talked to you, like no one else in the room mattered. I was hooked. We got married in our late 20s. I worked in HVAC, she was in human resources. Opposites in a lot of ways, but we balanced each other out. She kept me grounded. I kept things light. At least, I used to think so. Our daughter, Emily, is 8. Our son, Noah, just turned 5. Life became a rhythm. School drop-offs, family dinners, soccer games. Melissa loved being a mom. And I loved being her husband. We weren't rich, but we had enough. We had plans. A trip to Italy for our 15th anniversary, buying some land just outside town. I thought we were a team. She used to text me little things during the day. I miss you. Can't wait to see you tonight, or a selfie with a goofy filter. Those stopped about a year ago. I chalked it up to stress. I mean, HR during a recession? She was probably overloaded. I didn't question it. I didn't want to be that guy who checked his wife's phone. I believed in trust. Blindly, maybe. Chapter 2. The Missed Call. It was a Tuesday night. I'd just finished folding laundry and was heading to bed when I saw Melissa's phone buzz on the nightstand. A missed call from a number I didn't know. The name wasn't saved. I wouldn't normally check, but it was almost midnight. And she was in the shower. Something about that didn't sit right. I clicked it open. Just one missed call. No texts. I hit the back button and paused. There was a thread, previously deleted, with that same number. All gone. Nothing left. I didn't say anything that night. I felt like I'd already crossed a line, even just looking. But a seed had been planted. And it started to grow. The next few days, I started watching more closely. She laughed at her phone more. Started doing her makeup even when she said she was just running errands. When I kissed her, she'd turn her head slightly. Not every time, just enough. It was like living with someone who still wore your last name, but had already emotionally moved out. Chapter 3. Watching her change. She used to be an open book. Now her phone was always face down. Password change. She kept talking about a new guy at work, Chris. Said he was hilarious. A single dad, trying to rebuild after a rough divorce, she said. At first, I didn't think much of it. I mean, she worked in a corporate office. People talk, but the way she said his name stuck with me. One night, I walked into the kitchen and heard her say, "I can't talk now," before quickly hanging up. When she saw me, she smiled, like nothing had happened. I asked who it was. "Oh, just my sister. She needed help with something." Only problem? I had just been texting with her sister about an event that weekend. She hadn't called anyone. It wasn't proof, but it didn't feel right. That night, while she slept, I checked the call log on the phone bill. That same number had called her 6 times in 3 days. Twice during her girls' night the week before. Chapter 4. The Private Investigator. I didn't want to be the guy who hired someone to spy on his wife. But I also didn't want to keep living with this weight in my chest. I contacted someone discreet, friend of a friend. Private investigator. Told him I didn't want drama. Just facts. "Give me a week," he said. Melissa said she had a team building retreat coming up, Friday to Sunday. Out of town. I played it cool. Told her to have fun, be safe. She kissed me on the cheek and said she'd text me every night. "I'll miss you." She didn't text once. Saturday afternoon, I got an encrypted folder in my inbox. Photos. Video. Melissa. Same guy, Tall, beard, tattoos. Chris. They weren't at a retreat. They were at a cabin. Just the two of them. In one of the photos, she wore the necklace I gave her for our 10th anniversary, the one she said she lost. I stared at the screen for what felt like an hour. Then I turned it off and went to pick up the kids from my sisters. I smiled like nothing was wrong. Chapter 5. Pretending. When she came home Sunday night, she acted exhausted. Gave me a half hug. Said the retreat was draining but productive. I didn't say a word. Just nodded. Made dinner. Sat beside her while she scrolled Instagram. Inside, I felt like I was bleeding out. But the thing is, I wasn't ready to confront her. Not because I was afraid of the truth. I already had it. I just didn't know what came next. Divorce? Shared custody? Splitting the house we built? How do you blow up your whole life when you still love the person holding the match? Chapter 6. The illusion of normal. We kept playing house. She packed lunches. I took the kids to soccer. We watched Netflix on the couch, and she even reached for my hand once. I pulled away, gently. That night she asked, "Are we okay?" I lied. Yeah, just tired. And maybe I was. Tired of pretending. Tired of acting like I didn't know she was texting him in the bathroom. Tired of carrying something I didn't break. I looked at her and tried to picture the version of her I used to know. But that woman was gone. Replaced by someone who kept secrets and smiled like everything was fine. Chapter 7. The fork in the road. So now I'm standing here, at a fork I never asked for. I could confront her, tell her everything I know, watch her deny it at first, then cry, then maybe beg, or maybe not, maybe she walks away without a fight, maybe she wanted me to find out, or I could keep pretending. Ride this out until the kids are older, until I'm numb enough that it doesn't hurt anymore. Or, I could walk away, file the papers, start over. But the truth is, I don't know if I'm strong enough. Not yet. Ending. Every night, I watch her sleep and wonder if she's dreaming of him. Every morning, I drink my coffee in silence and wonder how long she plans to keep lying. And every day, I ask myself the same question. If I leave, what do I tell my kids? That love ends? That trust breaks? That mommy and daddy couldn't work it out? Or do I lie to protect them, just like I lie to myself? I don't know what I'll do. Not yet. But let me ask you, if you found out your wife was seeing someone else behind your back, if you had the proof, the pictures, the lies, would you stay, or would you walk away? Because I'm still standing at that fork. And I haven't moved. But that was only the beginning. What happened next was even more unexpected. Let me tell you another story.
My boyfriend tried to control me with a curfew. But that's not the worst part. I never thought I'd be the kind of woman who ends up questioning everything after 5 solid years with someone. I always saw myself as level-headed, rational. But now, sitting here with my overnight bag still packed from 3 nights ago, I can't stop replaying the last conversation I had with Ethan. We've been living together for almost 2 years. Before that, 5 years of what I thought was a pretty normal, loving relationship. Sure, we had our spats like anyone else. But nothing ever screamed control, or manipulation, or red flag, not until last Friday. It started out so simple. I was getting dressed for a Halloween potluck party. Just a chill night with some girlfriends, their boyfriends, a few drinks, homemade snacks, dumb costumes. I wasn't even planning to stay that long. But while I was putting on my eyeliner, Ethan came and leaned against the doorframe. "Hey, so what time are you gonna be home tonight?" he asked. I shrugged. "Not sure, maybe around midnight?" "We're starting around 9. That's when he said it. "Well, I don't think you should be out past 1 a.m. Actually, even that's pushing it. I'd feel better if you were home by 11. I laughed at first, thinking he was joking. "Are you my dad now?" I teased. He didn't smile. "No, I'm serious. You're a woman. Nothing good happens after midnight, especially at parties where I'm not there." That's when I felt the air change. I lowered the eyeliner and turned to him. "Wait, are you putting a curfew on me?" He crossed his arms. "Call it what you want. It's just how I feel. I don't want my girlfriend out late, without me, at some random party. It's not about trust. It's about standards. If you don't like them, maybe we shouldn't be living together." I froze. I can't even explain the feeling that swept over me. It wasn't anger, not yet. It was confusion, hurt, because this wasn't Ethan, or at least not the Ethan I thought I knew. I've been to events before. I've gone out late with friends. You've never said anything like this. Well, maybe I should've, he snapped. Because I'm tired of acting like I'm okay with it. You either respect my boundaries, or maybe this doesn't work. I just stared at him. Then he added, you're lucky I'm saying 1 a.m. Honestly, after how defensive you're being right now, I should be saying 11. Like it was some kind of punishment. That's when the anger kicked in. So I packed a bag. Not out of some dramatic gesture, but because I needed space. I told him I was heading to my parents'. He didn't stop me. He didn't even ask me to stay. He just walked away. That was 72 hours ago. He hasn't texted, hasn't called, hasn't even sent a, hope you're okay. And I've spent the last 3 days going back through every memory, every moment, trying to figure out when this started to shift. Because something inside me keeps whispering that this wasn't just about one party. It was something deeper, something that's been bubbling under the surface for a while. The first time I noticed something was off was about 3 months ago. I had drinks with coworkers after a client meeting. Nothing big. We went to a rooftop bar, stayed till maybe 11:30. I let Ethan know in advance, sent him a quick selfie with my group. But when I got home, he was cold. Distant. Wasn't expecting you to be out that late, he muttered when I climbed into bed. At the time, I brushed it off. I told myself maybe he was just tired. But now, I'm not so sure. Then there was the night I had to work late on a project. Ethan texted. Still at work, huh? I replied. Yeah, just wrapping up. I'll be home soon. He left me on read. The next morning, he made a joke about my boss being a little too friendly. He was watching me, measuring things, but I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. When I told my mom what happened, she was silent at first. Then she said something I can't stop thinking about. Control never starts all at once. It starts with rules dressed up as love. That hit me hard, because Ethan wasn't screaming. He wasn't throwing things. He wasn't calling me names. But he was trying to make me feel guilty. Like my freedom was some kind of threat to our relationship. Like I owed him obedience to prove I loved him. That's not love. It's not just the curfew. It's what came after, or didn't come. Not a single message. Not a single call. He's just vanished. Like I was the one who did something wrong. And what scares me most isn't the silence. It's that I miss him. I miss the guy who used to wake me up with coffee on Saturday mornings. I miss the guy who would sing off key in the shower, just to make me laugh. I miss the way he used to look at me like I was magic. And now, I don't know who he is anymore. Last night, I finally caved and checked his location. We'd shared it with each other months ago, after I got lost during a hiking trip. I never turned it off. He was at a bar. Downtown. Around midnight. Part of me wanted to believe maybe he was just blowing off steam. But then I saw her. Her name is Haley. They used to work together. She always commented on his posts. Always, liked, everything. Once I even caught her calling him my favorite guy, in a story reply. I never said anything. Ethan said she was just a friend. And maybe she is. But when I tapped into her Instagram last night, I saw something that made my blood run cold. A boomerang video. 2 glasses clinking. A man's hand. His ring. The same vintage silver ring I gave Ethan on our 3rd anniversary. I don't know if they're together. I don't know if that video means what I think it means. But I do know this. The man who claimed I couldn't be trusted to go out until 1 a.m. without him, was out at 12:45, drinking with a woman he once told me not to worry about. Maybe this isn't just about control. Maybe it's about projection. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm still at my parents'. I haven't blocked him. I haven't called him. And no, he still hasn't reached out. But the silence has started speaking for him. Louder than any apology would. If you're listening to this, and you've ever had someone try to wrap chains around your choices and call it love, please hear me. It doesn't start with bruises. It starts with curfews, with standards, with, if you really loved me, you'd. Don't wait until you forget who you were to remember who you were before them. I'm not sure what comes next. But I know this isn't it. Let me know in the comments. What would you do if someone you loved suddenly tried to control you like this? Would you wait for them to come back? Or would you walk away while you still can?